This morning, I am joined by an intriguing, fascinating artist that is African Wine, real name Dalma Kapishe. She's a talented artist who's known for her captivating voice as well as her soulful performances. And guess what? She hails from Kunzimbo, Chiredzi, from the beautiful town of Chiredzi, Zimbabwe. And, she joins me this morning. African Wine, good morning, and thank you for joining us on the Morning Rush on this lovely Wednesday morning.
Thank you for having me. I'm really glad I'm here.
All right.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the hair. I'm like, there's a lot going on.
All the time. I'm changing styles and doing that stuff.
What color is that? Because I'm bad with colors.
Sometimes I'm like pink rosé. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I'm like a champagne ginger, and sometimes I'm like.
Why do I hear a lot of beverages in your color descriptions?
It's not a lot of. It's just wine.
Rosé.
It's just wine.
Yeah.
Exactly. Hence African wine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. Obviously, born Dalma, but obviously as an artist known as African Wine.
Yeah.
Where does that name come from?
Well, it came from like just recognizing how wine and music go together.
The notes, wine, the alcohol.
The wine
okay,
itself.
All right, interesting.
The notes and it stems from just the whole African part is like the African where the roots, the roots of our being, right? That's where the African part comes from, and then the wine. That's just the dynamicness of the dynamic. Well, what is it called? Like the dynamics of music.
Yeah.
Exactly. So the notes in wine and the notes in music, when they go together, it's like the senses are like just amplified.
Can I ask you something?
Amplified.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah. Good.
Were you drinking wine when you came up with the name?
Okay, I wasn't, but that's fair because I really love wine.
Yeah.
And when I first tasted it, it was in church actually. That's the funny part.
Okay, that's interesting.
It is. So when the priest was like, was Indian Catholic.
Yeah.
So when the priest was like, Yoro para Cristo, I was like, okay. What? and then from there I was like, okay, this is my thing. I'm gonna have a wine cellar in my home, and just mixing up with music. It just became like a part of me, of my almost day to day sipping wine and making music.
I love that. But I want to talk about the beginning. Obviously, coming from Chiredzi, and then now obviously you've blown up into this artist. What was your journey like in terms of you starting out with music? Like how did you start singing?
What were
all your influences? Yep.
It was very difficult to make a decision to like, I'm gonna follow a career path that just is about music, because I was into production engineering.
Okay, fascinating.
Yeah, I went to CAT, University of Technology, and I was doing pretty good, excelling in engineering, and that's where I actually found my passion. I'm interested in music more than anything else. I would be in class, in lectures, and I'd be singing, writing songs, composing. And then this person saw me singing Christian Union. Yeah. I was there,
I can
sing
see
praise and worship. yeah, but it was all music. In that whole journey where I was exploring different things, it was all following music. It was like my passion for music was leading me, and I can't wait for where it's leading me next. But
I mean, in terms of the artists that influenced you growing up, maybe let's start from a Zimbabwean perspective before we go abroad. Like, so, some of the artists that you go, like, you know what, when you listen to African Wine today, these are the artists who shaped me into the musician that I am.
One of them is definitely Oliver Mtukudzi.
The legend?
The legend, obviously. That guy inspired me. His writing, it was very deep and at the same time very relatable. And that's the same thing that I aim to do with my music today. Just at least, while we are entertaining each other, while we are, having fun in the music, at least let's get the messages right, and at least let's be inspired. That guy inspired me like a whole lot, and I wish he was alive today. So that I could, have a song with him. That would have been nice.
People are remixing stuff, reworking stuff, so that could be an idea.
That's a really good idea. I am taking that.
I'll send you my invoice. But
Right.
we talked about the Zimbabwean influence, but
Yeah.
outside of that, maybe on the continent or even beyond, were some of your musical influences as well?
All right. I love Diamond Platinum. I mean, the vibe.
Yeah.
And I love Tyler right now. She has so many waves right now,
Yeah.
just flowing. It's all amapiano all over because of Tyler and her R&B. And I'm inspired as well. And other artists like, oh my God, I can't forget Chione Somare and her influence on me.
Yeah.
She was, just empowering as a woman, just watching her and tackling social issues in her songs. I mean, it's something to admire and really be inspired by.
Right. And
Yeah.
then looking at your own music that you've been putting out, like how would you describe, like, are you an artist who likes to box themselves and say, like, I'm sing only this specific genre? Like, how do you want to be described as an artist?
I don't even know how to like sing one genre. I think I'd feel stuck if I did that. I like experimenting.
Yeah.
As you know, I grew up a scientist, going into engineering and stuff. So experimenting is really my strength. I feel like it's somewhere I can always learn something. I can always develop something. I can always go in a really, dynamic direction. So I'm really experimenting with all the genres. And being a freelance musician, because I also write songs for other people. So being that, I have to be dynamic. I have to learn to write on beats that I don't know what in some even Korean beats I can whoop up something, and I love
So you're eclectic
Shona.
like that, yeah.
Exactly, I love Kwisa Shona. It's interesting, Kwisa Shona in genres that you haven't heard Shona in. It's just yeah.
Okay, I like that. Speaking of experimentation, what are some of the things you've been experimenting with lately? Is there any new projects that you've recently released or that you're working on putting out that we can then sort of dabble into and get a sense of what you're saying?
Okay, so when I started this whole solo career thing, I was singing mostly in English. And people started saying, yeah, so I had to like put my Shona in there and ndikatanga kutodzidza kunyora Shona in songs.
And what has that been like for you?
It's been a curve because maybe it's not sounding right in this genre.
Yeah.
But then you have a eureka moment and that's like really rewarding. Saka, when you're at the end of the day, you know what, let me keep on writing my songs in Shona and what people are getting in the wave. So let me keep on doing that. And it's helpful.
We've talked about your influences, the Chione shows, the Oliver Mtukudzis, the Diamond Platinums. Where does African Wine as an artist want to go with her career in terms of what you want to achieve, and maybe even unpack for us, what kind of legacy you want to leave for people to say, you know what, I was inspired by African Wine because of A, B, C, or even D?
That's a very good question. Legacy, that's a very important thing. And I feel like, when people are watching us right now, they'll be looking up and be like, maybe I want to grow up and be like her, or I want to, learn something from her. For me, I just love sharing music. I love inspiring people through music. I never really just was like, I want to be a superstar or whatever.
Yep.
But it was through sharing music, through the love for music. And that helps me even tackle some mental health issues, because I know some of the people that I grow up with are going through those things, and I feel like I can help through my music, and that's what I try to do. And yeah.
I can tell that music and your creativity is a very big part of
huge.
who you are.
Yeah.
But like, I want to ask you something different in terms of saying, obviously you've been putting a lot out, giving yourself out, but what has music given you?
All right. Peace of mind. That's the first thing. It's always given me that, aside from having a whole career, but at the same time, it's given me a perspective over just who I want to be, just as a person, and how I want to interact with people. And it's given me confidence to speak, because I didn't used to like be on the camera all the time, but now I can, I'm here and I'm speaking to a lot of people probably. And that's big for me. I found my confidence on the mic. I didn't have a big voice when I was growing up. I would always silence myself because I would always be thinking maybe I shouldn't be saying things, or maybe it's not right, or maybe I'm not, but now I can figure myself out.
So music has given you a voice.
It's given me a voice.
A voice. And maybe just as we close off, if people want to get in touch with you, are you available on social media? How can they get your music? Do you have any performances coming up? Just let us know in that regard.
All right. Yeah, I'm very active on social media, and I love engaging with my fans, and they love also interacting with me. So it's a very two-way relationship. So African wine is very easy, really. I don't think there are many African wines. So African wine on social media, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, African wine, TikTok, African wine. Yeah.
Konapo. Ipapo pa ZTN Prime. DSTV channel 294. The place to be.